Hey artists, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about how to make a styrofoam block print. Step number one is to make a drawing. Try to make the drawing the exact size that you would like for your print. For this drawing, I am making a drawing of buildings using shapes, but if you're at home doing this, you can actually draw any kind of drawing that you would like. Something with lines, simple lines or shapes is best. Don't try to do anything complicated with colors and things like that because we'll be choosing colors later. Step number two, tape a piece of styrofoam to the back. You want to make sure it's a thin piece of styrofoam, and you want to make sure that you're taping in two places so that your styrofoam doesn't move. So I tape from the back of the styrofoam to the front of my paper. If I only leave one piece of tape, you'll notice it moves, so I want to make sure to use two pieces of tape. Step number three is to trace over your lines with a pencil. As you trace your lines with a pencil, you're actually going to be denting or carving into the styrofoam. You can pull back and actually feel the depth of those lines and continue. You want to make sure to trace over every single line. If your pencil breaks, that's not a big deal. You just need some kind of a dent. You could use a fingernail, a penny, a paper clip, anything to dent your styrofoam for every single pencil line that you have drawn. Now that you have finished tracing your lines, go ahead and take off your paper, and you can actually throw it away. It was just a sketch paper. You do not need it. Step number four, retrace your lines into the block. This time you want to make sure that your lines are deep. Instead of just being able to see the line, you want to make sure that that line is deep enough that when you spread ink across, the ink will not go down into those lines. So go over it slowly and carefully. You can see the difference between those lines that I have traced the second time and the ones that I have not. The ones I've traced the second time, you can tell are much, much deeper. Step number five is to cut away the background. This is actually an optional step. It's not something you have to do, but I'm going to be printing this onto an already painted background of a paper, and I don't want to use my ink as the background. For the sky of my picture, I have already painted that paper, so I'm going to go ahead and cut away the sky so that my buildings can be one color and that my sky can be that already painted background. Again, this is an optional step, but feel free to experiment. Your styrofoam block artwork doesn't have to be a rectangle shape just because that's the way it came when you ordered it. You're welcome to kind of make your styrofoam block any shape that you would like. Step number six, gather your materials. I like to use speedball printing ink. It's just a really great general versatile ink. Step number seven, roll out a little bit of ink. Go ahead and take your roller, grab a little bit of ink on the roller, and roll back and forth until you hear a loud clicking or Velcro sound. Did you hear the Velcro sound? It should be pretty loud as you're working. If you hear it softly, grab a little bit more ink. That little bit more ink will help you make sure that you have that louder Velcro sound, which is the perfect sound to make sure you have the correct amount of ink. Step number eight, roll your ink onto your block. When I roll onto my block, I like to put a piece of paper underneath to make sure that any messes I have don't end up transferring onto my paper. As you're rolling, make sure that you still hear that same Velcro sound. That will let you know you have the right amount of ink. Step number nine, print onto a clean paper. I'm going to go ahead and print onto this brand new piece of white paper. And when you print onto a piece of paper, you want to make sure to press down You can rub the back of your print, press really firmly to make sure that you have ink on there. You can curve or pick it up and look at the side and make sure that you are transferring all the ink that you would like to before you pull off your block. I hope you've enjoyed learning how to make a print. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel in the bottom right-hand corner. What will you create?